We now return to the Park Shore Coin and Collectibles Hour on Fox Sports Radio. And now, your host, Scott Heiligman.
Welcome back to the Park Shore Coins and Collectibles Hour. We're in the studio with our host, Scott Heiligman, owner of Park Shore Coins and Collectibles. If you were listening to that last segment, you heard us talk about gold coins, silver coins, junk silver, why silver is hot right now, why gold is hot right now, the values that are involved, and the ways that you can buy and sell those and hedge against some of this inflation and against some of the uncertainty that we're dealing with in today's world. And there is a lot of uncertainty. Anyway, before we went to the break, I mentioned that we were going to talk about sports memorabilia, baseball cards, sports memorabilia. It's one of the things that Park Shore Coins and Collectibles delves in. One of the things they involve themselves in. Not only is it coins and jewelry, but also all things collectible, whether that's vintage toys, antique musical instruments, not just antique musical instruments in general, watches, sports memorabilia, diamonds, baseball cards, political buttons, you name it, they're into it. Visit their website at parkshorecoin.com. You can get an idea of what they're all about, and it'll give you a leg up on what you might be interested in selling, and you can reach out to Scott that way. Scott?
Yes.
We're going to talk a little bit about baseball cards.
Baseball cards. Well, the big one this week was a basketball card that was found. It's a LeBron James. It's called the Logo Man. And it was put out by Panini, and it's estimated to be worth about $3 million.
Oh.
And it was put in, like we mentioned a few years ago, or a few episodes ago, these companies are putting out one-of-one cards. So this LeBron James Logo Man card was a patch, the NBA logo, from one of his jerseys in Cleveland, one of his jerseys in Miami, and one of his jerseys in Los Angeles. And they put it on a card, and it was a one-of-one, and they put them in what's called a flawless. It's a specific product that Panini put out, very expensive. The boxes are in the thousands of dollars,
right?
Hobby boxes. And the card finally got pulled, and the rapper Drake is estimated to offer, I think, $3 million to the person who pulled it.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
it's
winning the
LeBron
lottery.
James card. It's
You
exactly
just
what
don't know
it
what
is.
you're gonna
Well,
get.
that's what I said. It is nowadays. Collecting is like the lottery. You buy, people aren't really buying baseball and basketball cards like we were when we were kids. It's because we watched the teams and
Right.
we enjoyed watching it. They're doing it today to find the home run,
Right.
to find the $5,000 card.
Or
Just to flip the box,
Right.
For a while there, you could buy a box at Walmart for $22 and sell it online for $80.
Yeah.
I mean, the market was just absolutely crazy. But yeah, the Panini, what's called the Flawless package is what they put out. And yeah, the Logo Man card was found. So all of my listeners out there who've been buying those packs, hoping to get the card because it hadn't, surfaced yet.
Well, it's surfaced.
It's surfaced, yeah.
$3 million. That's that broke a lot of water surfacing.
Oh yeah,
man,
unbelievable!
But
isn't it?
see, that's why people they hear something like that and they
It's
go,
the lottery, though.
I got to get by
for sure.
Yeah,
but you can do it smart. There's ways of doing it. And there's some other cards I'm sure in those flawless packs that are worth tens of thousands of dollars too.
Right.
They made some really cool products.
Now there's a lot of good, solid baseball card companies out there. Panini,
yeah, there's
one,
nice
and they're
ones.
very, very,
Panini's
very collectible.
Good, yeah,
But
Upper Deck is still good.
Is Topps still good?
Topps is decent. Yeah,
Yeah.
they make a chrome product for baseball
Okay.
that's highly sought after.
Okay.
Called Topps Chrome. Who else is out there? Peachy is still really good for hockey.
Okay.
They make a good product for hockey.
Right.
The old names are still out there. I just feel like some of them have been bought, and they're just new names.
Is baseball still king as far as the cards?
No, basketball is now king.
Basketball.
And football.
And football.
Yeah, those football rookies, some of those cards have gone for hundreds of thousands of dollars, like the Mahomes and the Bradys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, those guys turned it. It's a whole different thing now.
Yeah. Whole different thing.
Yeah, baseball's in a distant, I'd say, third place at this point.
Now, for some of our listeners that have some tire wear on their tires or time under their wheels, as they say, and have collected cards, Topps used to be the deal. If you're looking
Bowman.
at your Bowman,
I think, because that's initially, maybe even, yeah,
Bowman,
yeah, Topps and Bowman, but Topps was the name,
right? And
Yeah.
if you're looking through your card collection, the real value is probably what,
Hall of
pre
Famers.
1960?
Well, definitely pre 1980.
Oh, right, okay.
You know, the things in the 80s just aren't worth much because they mass produced them.
Right.
The whole reason the things are worth so much money in the mantles and those, because nobody kept the cards.
Right.
Everyone threw them away. They put them in the spokes, like you said, on
Put
their
them on
tires.
bicycles, yeah.
Yeah. Nowadays, like my generation, everyone kept them in pristine condition.
Yeah.
So then they never became worth anything.
Yeah.
They only become worth something when they're scarce.
Well,
You know
it's
what I'm saying?
how people
so that's
approach
why the
them.
one-on-one card is going to be $3 million. There's only one of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's how
It's a
how
total
things,
joke. It's a Fugazi kind of,
Right.
you know. It
Right.
is. It's made by the corporations.
Yeah.
It's not what collecting. I don't want to be controversial, but these things usually happen organically. There's an error in a card, or you know what I mean, or something just took off and became, making one-of-ones. Or all the cards now are out of 199, out of 50. So they'll give just a normal player on any team out of 199
Right.
and give some sparkle in this to it, and they'll try to say it's now a $14 card.
So
Or
they're-
the
they're-
base card's literally
right.
worth a penny.
They're
you know,
creating their own
They're
market.
creating their own market.
Well,
And it's working very well, so who am I to say? But it's just not what it's just not, like I said, when I got into trading cards, I liked the players. I enjoyed watching it.
Right.
I wasn't doing it because, I'm going to get really rich off this card.
And that's what's
the
made the
last thing I
difference.
could ever even think of.
Mhm.
I mean, I'd never have any clue what any of those cards were worth. I just, cool, I got a Clemens rookie.
And you didn't care.
And I didn't care.
Yeah.
No, now I guess people are looking and they have a phone. They pop the card out. Oh, I want to see what it's worth.
Yeah.
And the last thing on my mind is a collector.
Right.
When I was younger.
Right.
That stuff becomes, I guess, more important when you're older, but not when you're,
That's what's changing the baseball card
it's
market.
changing a lot of things
It's just
in the world.
it's changing. The dollar value it stepped in.
Oh, the dollar, yeah.
What we used to do for fun is
Turned
now
into a profession.
and it's a business.
Yeah.
It's a business for a lot of people. I mean, think about it. You have these huge card shows that go all over the country. There's a big one in Vegas every year, maybe twice a year, and they come in from all over the world, and it's all buying and selling. It's money changing hands.
Yeah.
It's a commodity.
Yeah. And these are a lot of time in the Logo Man card. A lot of these are now being purchased in what's called breaks. So companies on YouTube and Instagram, it's all a younger generation of people, 25-year-olds. They will buy a flawless box for $5,000, and then they will find 20 people that will each pay $1,000, and then they will draw out of a box. Will you get every card that gets pulled from the Orlando Magic out of this box? Will you get every card that's from the Lakers? So if you get the LeBron, and it actually got pulled live on TV.
Really?
That Logo Man, yeah.
Huh.
And it got pulled by the same group of people who did pulls, who said, hey, we're giving away this box to our loyal listeners. They pulled like a $25,000 card, and they go, we can't give this one away.
Oh.
This is literally where the industry is.
Yeah.
And this company literally is still in existence, and they still are more popular than ever because that generation doesn't care about loyalty, how you go about doing business. And that same company just pulled the Logo Man.
Wow.
Yes. So they got rewarded for it almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they gave like $1 million card to one person. It was like kind of the part of the promotion.
Yeah.
Because everyone knew if you pull the Logo Man LeBron, it's going to be worth $3+ million. So some say $5 million.
And what were the chances that you would get that card?
Very slim, I would
Very
guess.
slim, yeah. Well, I mean, even if you knew it was in the box.
Well, that's but the boxes were so expensive. So few people had
Yeah.
one. I think they're like 20. I would have to look them up, but they're very expensive.
But that shows you the kind of money and focus that is on that industry.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I'd say there's probably under 1 million cards total though.
Yeah.
So nothing too crazy.
Well, when someone let's talk about baseball cards, let's say that we have a listener. We have lots of listeners in the area that collect
They
baseball
love sports
cards.
down here.
Yeah, a lot, and they have their favorite teams,
Yeah.
and men and women both. A lot of women collect sports memorabilia.
Yeah.
They bring you their collection. You have to look at it immediately you look at it as just like coins, condition.
Yeah, it's very important.
That's the first thing you look at. Well,
That's
you probably look at
everything.
the years and the players. Are they Hall of Fame players?
Yep.
What are the years?
Yep.
When did they play? Is it pre?
Is it their rookie card? Is it their 20th year card?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you make a determination on condition from that.
That's right.
To see if
people,
they're
and people can do that themselves with a little bit of research.
Right.
You just have to know who the Hall of Famers are and the All Stars, or the step below that.
Mm-hmm.
The Hall of Famers are going to be the most expensive cards.
right.
And then their rookie cards are going to be their most expensive card. And then as you break it down from there, their rookie card in Supreme Gen Mint Condition 10 is going to be their most expensive card, and everything trickles down from that. You know, condition is everything. Yeah, you can have a card like a mantle can be worth anywhere from $50, and then, you know, if it's in a very good condition, that same card will be $5,000.
Right. That
Yeah.
shows you the difference.
Everything is condition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like his most rare card, I think you can get in a one, you know, for $1,000.
Right.
His rookie card, you know.
I've noticed in basketball cards, and I saw some the other day where they not only had their they had cards for their pro careers, but they had cards made up for their high school careers.
Yeah, in college too.
And college.
Yeah.
And as far back as, you know, you go from pro back to college, then back to high school, I guess there's collectability in those that before they actually attain fame.
They're hoping there will be.
They're hoping.
No, yeah, they're hoping that they make it big, and then in 50 years that card will be worth something.
Right. Well, it's sort of like you told us a story back probably in January about someone bringing you some baseball memorabilia that was signed.
Yeah.
Hoping that this rookie...
Baseball gloves, batting gloves.
Yeah, batting gloves. Hoping that this rookie would end up being a standout. And
Which very well might be.
So they're asking you to invest.
Set the market.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. And that's
then they want me to know what this 19-year-old kid's autograph looks like.
Right. Right. That's tough.
Yeah, which I'm sure was real, and I'm sure he sat at Fenway Park down here, or what's it called, Blue Fenway?
Yeah.
The one in
Little Fenway, yeah.
Little Fenway,
Yeah.
right here on Daniels Parkway. Yeah, I mean, they go down. That's where spring training is for the Boston Red Sox. It's down here in Fort Myers, and the Minnesota Twins. And quite frankly, half the baseball teams are in Florida. So these teams are accessible. You stand out there after practice or after a game, and you can get their autograph. You know, you can maybe run into them at the restaurant, or if you want to get their autograph, you can, but that doesn't automatically make it valuable.
Right.
You know, especially on a rookie who hasn't even had one at bat yet. You know, you might want to hold on to that one for 15 years.
I agree.
I mean, how big of a sucker do you think I am? Do you think I am just going to pay for? And by the way, he had it listed on eBay.
Yeah.
Because I do my research, you know, and he didn't tell me that obviously, but it was still on there. Buy it now, $4.95. I think he was asking.
Yeah.
And so I was a second, and he literally tried getting $4.95 out of me.
Right.
It's just laughable.
Right.
It's like you can't even get it off eBay, and you're going to try to, but they're going to try to do that. I mean, you know, that's their job.
Happens.
My job is to say no and to make smart decisions. I can't expect the customers to always walk in with the best intentions for Park Shore Coin.
Sure.
Most of them are great. 99% of my customers are the best. I love what I do. Great dealing with the people down here. But there's, you know, a percent of them that are trying to get over on me. They're trying to get over on anyone. It doesn't matter where you are or who you are, whether they're doing this or that for you.
Right.
I'm just an extension of that.
Yeah.
We all face it in our daily life.
Well, I tell you what, Scott, though, if somebody went to your website and, you know, they see comments and from people that you've dealt with,
absolutely,
it's amazing. You're upfront, you're honest, you're highly recommended, you're reliable and respectable.
Yep.
And if you do business that way, then people in turn want to do business with you.
I'm upfront and transparent what it is.
Right.
So they'll say, hey, Scott, I got this American Gold Eagle. Spot's $1,900. Hey, how much will you give me? I don't know, $1,875. I'll probably sell for $1,950. Is that cool with you? Yeah, that's fine. You know, oh, hey, I have this 14-karat necklace that weighs X and X grams. Okay, I will eventually sell for $1,000. You know, mind you, the gold market could go up or down.
Right.
I have to hold items for a month before I can sell them for regulations.
Right.
And so then I have to sit on, you know, I have to sell it. I have to put time into selling and find the customer. So if your chain's worth $1,000, how about I give you $850 for it? Is that cool?
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. But some people, oh no, I see. I type it into my computer and, you know, I have $999 worth of gold there. Well, yeah, you do. It's 14 karat, but I can't, you know, I got to leave something on there for my time and to do this and to stay in business. Yeah. And some people don't want that.
Right.
And so we don't do business. So it comes down to expectation and, you know, and some people just aren't selling too. Right. They just want to come in and get a price, which is fine. But some people are more difficult in life. I mean, newsflash. Yeah, newsflash. There's some people in this world that are a little bit more difficult to work with and to deal with than other people.
I don't think people realize the risk involved on your end.
Yeah, no, that part's fun too. Yeah, no, for sure. I got to keep my head on my shoulders, but I have a great location and no, there's definitely risk. And there's just, honestly, there's risk when I mail the stuff. Yeah. That's when I lose my most sleep. when there's a large package in the mail, and I am literally reliant on the large carriers to, a big chunk of my net worth.
Somebody's bought several $1,000s worth of coins.
Yeah,
and
gold
it's on its
or
way
a
to
diamond,
wherever. Yeah, or a diamond.
or a watch or whatever. I'm sending it in. I mean, it's literally predicated on it landing, and I can't be flying things around during COVID. So
that must have been
so that
something.
it's just great. It's part of the business, so it's risky. That's why it's a lot easier for someone to bring in and then they say, well, I can get $1,900 by selling it online. I'm like, yeah, but then you got to mail it in, and then if gold does go down, unless you're locked in, when they get it in, if it's at 1870, that's what they're going to offer you. Or if there's a nick on it, because there's companies you can mail in your stuff.
Yeah.
That my people will come in and be like, well, they're going to give me $1,900 for that, and you're going to give me $1,890. I say, I'm going to give you $1,890. You're going to walk out of here with $1,890. You're not going to have to mail it. Right. You're not going to wait 4 days. They're not going to give you that $1,900 until they get the coin.
Right.
Right. And then it's got to get there. Things get lost.
So many things can happen.
About 1 in 400 items. I mean, I lose about that.
About 1 in 400.
About 1 in 400. And that's why the insurance, they charge you 1 in 100 because they make a fortune off of it. But it's very rare, but they get lost. And you just hope it's not a big one and that you're insured. And even an insurance policy, they take a long time, and bullion is usually not covered. So I have separate accounts for that. Right. So if you're just going to mail things through UPS, FedEx, or USPS, just by walking it in, they're probably not going to be covered, even if you buy the insurance. Yeah, that's the reality. You need
and even more reality is a lot of times insurance won't make you whole.
Postal Service, you have to ship registered mail.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah. Well, that's.
Did Ian say something? I had a phone on.
Ian actually was commenting. Go ahead, Ian. Tell.
No, I just said that you can buy insurance, but that still doesn't make you whole. At the end of it, you still don't have the product. You don't have the full reimbursement value.
And then you've been paying all those and you've been paying those premiums for a year, and then your premium goes up because if you file a claim. So everyone who I know who has these special insurance premiums, they don't even file a claim. They just end up eating it. So I just have separate accounts. I ended up saving so much money than spending $20. I just put that into an account that now has like $4K in it. So if a $700 item gets lost, God forbid, here you go, customer.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but everything, delivered, signed, and things get delivered. I mean, they're professional companies. They don't get lost. I ship them in a way, I package them if you package it properly, that's the number one mistake.
Right. Things
get lost when you get lazy packaging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you cover your bases, generally you're okay.
Yeah. And registered mail. If you send USPS, that's what all classified documents go. You can say, hey, I have $50,000 in gold coins in this package, and it only moves with the supervisor.
Right.
And it has to be sealed shut. You can't put tape on it. It's not even terribly expensive. Right. But that's how you ship things in a specific way. And most people don't know that. They're just going to say, oh, priority or overnight, it'll get there. Let's pay for the insurance. Right. No, they don't cover bullion because they don't know if it's even real. So it has to be certified. There's a lot of fine lines. And then the post office is great. And then you really want to walk into FedEx and say, I got an $8,000 diamond in there.
Yeah.
Because they ask you. They go, what's in there for the insurance? I'm not, you know what I mean? Then you wonder how it's going to disappear.
Right.
Postal Service, very upfront. You tell them, I have a $9,000 diamond in there. Okay, they write it out. This is what you're insured for. And it's registered. Supervisor, locked key the whole way.
That's interesting.
That's what it's called. It takes a couple extra days, but well worth it.
Wow. Yeah. Just for peace of mind.
Yeah, no, that's all I use, registered mail.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Ian chimed in a minute ago, and I wanted to tell you, Scott, right before we walked in the studio, we were having a discussion about collectibles, because that's our theme.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. We talk about collectibles. And I learned something about Ian that I did not know. Ian likes to collect, and this is because of his history. He likes fireman memorabilia. Some antique, some more modern, but fireman memorabilia. That's his. Everybody has a thing.
Heck yeah.
Everybody has a thing. That's his thing.
That's cool.
So I'm planting a seed with you.
Yep.
Keep an eye out for anything
some
fireman
extinguishers.
Related.
We're thinking axes.
Well, he can tell you what what would you be interested in, Ian?
Probably some old helmets.
Well, and the truth is, I retired now 19 years ago.
Right.
And it's not as special to me as it used to be. And I would love to find someone that would love it and appreciate it and give me a fair value.
That's cool.
For it. I have everything from glass carbon tetrachloride grenade kits, where you used to throw them at the fire.
Yep.
And I have all kinds of different things. I've got a lot of different fire extinguishers. I've got leather helmets that are 120, 140 years old from Chicago.
That's really cool.
So, yeah, I've got some really neat stuff. I even have some vintage lights, the old bubble gum machines.
You're going to have to fire up that eBay account.
I love collecting it, and I would love to now eventually find a home for it.
Yeah, ebay.com. We'll find a home for that.
Oh, I know it will.
That's going to be the best place for it, though. I'm just saying.
Right. But it's
you'll find collectors on there.
They're considered collectibles.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny, down here in Southwest Florida, we have a lot of retired firemen.
Yeah. For you, actually, I do know a couple, yeah.
When you meet them, they're like Ian. They have collected things all these years while they were firemen, and they love it.
Yep.
They love it, and they connect with it.
Yep.
Wherever they came from, whether it's New York, New Jersey, Michigan, Massachusetts, they have fireman stuff. And there's a market.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a market out there for people that collect fireman things or policeman things.
Yep.
Badges. Badges are a big thing. Yeah. Badges, you can, you know, and some of them are very elaborate. Some of them are very rare,
very old, yeah.
I know we've touched bases on that type of thing when we've talked about memorabilia, especially a real fine line of memorabilia that people want. Badges, whether it's fireman badges or policeman badges. It's history. It's all about history.
That's what it is, yeah. And things are changing so fast.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, a lot of fire trucks are collectible. I know two guys that actually own several retired fire trucks.
That's cool.
And it's a whole thing, and they go to rallies, and it's a lot of fun.
Wow.
Are there associations for this? People that
I'm not sure. I'm sure there probably is by now. Yeah. And they use them all in all the local parades, like the JCs, and everybody asks them to come out. And they ride on the old fire trucks.
That's cool.
That might, yeah. You know what, Scott? In the next couple of weeks, somebody's going to wheel up.
Oh, you know they will.
To your office, and they're going to say, "I've got this 1935."
Yep.
I don't even know who had made fire trucks back then. GMC, 2-ladder with the pumps.
Maybe we should put a disclaimer on this. Call before you bring in your vintage fire truck.
Yeah, exactly. They'll call first.
All right, so if you've got a fire truck and you want to call Scott,
exactly.
The number is 239-961-0816. It doesn't have to be a fire truck. No. It can be anything collectible.
It can be a mini fire truck, a die-cast one.
Die-cast. Yeah, there's a market for die-cast. Yeah. 239-961-0816 or at parkshorecoin.com and fire trucks. Who would have thought?
No.
But you know what? Once you get to know Ian and you know his history, it all makes sense. It makes sense. You know, we all collect things from our past, and we're all fond of things. And Ian and I were talking about it again before the show, and he said, but, you know, as you get a little older, you're not as interested.
And he's like a lot of my customers, they just want to see it go to a good home. Somebody who will enjoy it, who will appreciate it.
Right.
You know, that's kind of what I try and facilitate too, you know.
Well, you've said that about jewelry.
Jewelry, I don't melt it. Right. You know, I recycle it. You know, the rings, every little thing, unless it's like a broken necklace, it can't be.
Right.
You know, let's try to find it a new home. Because I know that jewelry probably meant something to you. Somebody gave it to you as a gift. Maybe you don't care about it now. But those things, you know, they talk about melt value. It's very hard to make a ring. A lot of labor goes into it.
Right.
So you're just... by throwing it and melting it, you're just
doing
it a little disservice.
Make you, disservice. And you feel bad when someone brings an elaborate piece of jewelry that you know was a special design.
Yes.
And really all the value is in the weight of the material. And you think this took maybe 100 hours to make.
It's terrible. Yeah, no, it happens. But it's not fun. It's not a good part of my job. But sometimes you need that dough.
You got to cash it in. Sometimes that's what people need. They want cash. And if you need cash... give him a call, 239-961-0816.
That's right.
You told us that you see a lot of that in sterling silver.
A lot of silver.
Patterns come in, and you know some of these patterns are 100 years old.
Older.
And older, and they were special.
Yeah.
And people don't have dining rooms anymore, but they'll bring them to you, and they know they're special.
People eat with their hands. They don't use forks anymore.
Don't use forks, yeah. We have to go. You know, we have people bringing us food. We can order it
online.
No,
even if you do, they just use their hands. You know, manners are out the window.
So things like that sit in a drawer until someone says, you know what? We may have a couple $1,000 worth of sterling
until Parkshore Coin comes knocking and reminds you.
Parkshore Coin.
A lot of people don't. They'd like, I do have that sitting in the drawer. It just dawns on them.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the object of the... let people know that, we're here for them.
Right.
Think, you did have that.
Yeah.
Maybe it is worth something. Maybe it isn't.
Right.
Call me.
Right.
Or look at my website. Shoot me a text. I mean, it's 10 seconds out of our days.
Yeah. And if you think about it, we talk about junk silver being 90%. Sterling silver is 92.5%.
I know, right?
So it's even got more silver in it than junk silver.
That's why they call it sterling. Yep.
That's why they call it sterling. And it has a value just like it based on spot rate of silver.
Yep, absolutely.
But you got to remember, when you call him, you're not dealing with an ounce, let's use an ounce of pure silver. You're dealing an ounce of sterling. Which again is 92.5 troy ounce. That's the other thing people make a mistake with.
Exactly. 31.3 grams instead of 28.3 grams.
So if you get a scale at home, chances are it's for food.
Ounces.
It's not the same.
It's not the same
as having a scale that has troy ounces.
Correct. So that's what happens all the time. They bring in their sterling and they weight it on their scale in their bathroom. You know, they did. And then they say, hey, is this many? They figure the ounces or, you know, on the food scale. And then the numbers are literally off by 20%.
Yeah.
And I have to explain that to them. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then they put the knives on there too.
Oh.
And the knives are never silver, just the handles, you know.
And sometimes they're hollow.
They're very heavy. Well, they're solid. No, they're not even hollow. They're solid steel through the handle.
Right.
Yeah, so they're heavy, but they're not sterling.
Right.
So if you're going to put that in the box with it when you weigh it,
your
numbers are going to be way off.
Yeah.
And then you're going to think you have more. And then when I say $1,500, you say, well, I weighed it and it was $3,000.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happened.
Well, these are the
and then
knives.
The 92%. Then you got to figure there's refining fees because this stuff isn't really worth much as 92.5. Right. It has to be refined into 3.9s, 99.9% pure before it can go into cell phones, batteries, microchips, computer chips, all the things that silver and gold are used for. It needs to be converted into 999.
Right.
So when it's 925, it's just not what we're buying it for. We're paying you a lot for it, but we're buying it to turn it into 999, and that's costs money.
Yeah.
You know, we have to melt hundreds of ounces to make it that cost not really matter.
Right. To get the value out of what.
Yeah. While juggling spot prices moving.
Right. Spot prices moving.
So there's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
But we got you covered. We'll make you fair bids. We'll try and pay top dollar. We'll always match on your price, but we kind of stay up to tune with where the market is. We don't really need to, get too concerned over that.
We've had listeners that have written down to you saying, "Thank you, Scott. You actually beat the competitor's price."
Oh, for sure. And sometimes they bring things in they don't think it's gold. It turns out to be gold.
Right.
This stuff was just laying around. It's nothing. Oh,
it doesn't have a mark on it.
Yeah. That part of transparency, being honest, is nice too.
Scott's location, just to remind you, is off of Immokalee Road in North Naples, and you can reach him via text 239-961-0816 or online at parkshorecoin.com.
That's right.
Scott, we're wrapping up the show this week, and at the end of the show, we always tell our listeners, if you're on the golf course,
hit them straight,
and if you're fishing, don't get sunburned.
Don't get sunburned. No three putts.
No three putts. No, and we don't want to hear about anybody getting an Eskimo or what do they call it? Snowman.
Snowman.
No snowmen. So stay true to yourself. Stay true to the area. Call Park Shore Coin and Collectibles and listen for us next week on this station.
That's right.